So the chart structure is the psychological structure of the human being. So when you think of the chart as you on a piece of paper, the placements of the planets by element, by sign, is going to tell you how the person is psychologically structured. This picture is the chart that would be the quote unquote proper or appropriate chart structured. Every single person started their chart in Aries and went through the zodiac and ended it in Pisces. So we have to understand that the chart universally has a structure that we want to kind of have in the back of our mind. And then the personal chart that's yours or the person you're reading for is going to be almost like supplanted onto that. And it's obviously going to shift depending on what you have as an ascendant, what you have as a midheaven, and so forth. I'm going to talk about the structure in a moment. But this is the original or the traditional way that the chart should be read. From Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. So that's the flow of the chart. And now everybody is going to have their own personal representation. So let's start with the 4 quadrants. The ascendant would be like the sunrise. The IC would be midnight. The descendant would be the sunset. And the midheaven would be noon. So if you position the sun as is the natural cycle of the day, that's going to explain the motivation, not only through our life cycle, but our daily cycle. And of course, in our chart, the way that we're going to approach life. And this is with everything in the sections, and you'll see that in your own chart. But there is a universal structure. So this here is quadrant 1. That includes Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. And we're going to go deeper into all of these. I'm just giving you kind of the basics of what today's about. And Aries is fire, Taurus is earth, and Gemini is air. So there's a missing element in each quadrant. So what element is missing? You've got fire, earth, and air, water. So this element of water is what we want to not traditionally see in a chart. So today, when we look at each of the charts, we'll see if there's water there, what that's adding. The second quadrant is Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. What's missing is air. The third quadrant is Libra, Scorpio, and Sag. What's missing is earth. And the fourth quadrant is Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, and what's missing is fire. So there's a reason why we have individual areas that are missing an element, because that element would almost interfere through the skill set that that quadrant wants to develop, and we'll go deeper into each. So this is the traditional structure. Ascendant, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo. Descendant, Libra, Scorpio, Sag. Midheaven, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. If you do not know this, if you do not know the order, you kind of want to get acclimated to this layout so that when you look at the individual charts, you can, like I said, layer them on, because then you're going to start to realize why each person might be more leaning towards their self-development versus a universal or a transpersonal development. And we'll describe each of the quadrants in full now. So this is something that you definitely want to have somewhat memorized, or at least as a reference point, so that when you look at an individual chart, you have this as a reference. So the chart structure is the psychological structure of the human being. So when you think of the chart as you on a piece of paper, the placements of the planets by element, by sign, is going to tell you how the person is psychologically structured. We're going to talk about elements. We briefly touched about missing elements. Elements have to do with our character and our temperament. Our character and our temperament does not change, ever. Our personality may change, but our temperament, our character does not change. So your natal chart is your natal chart for life. The transits, the things that possibly wake something up in you, may indicate why now you want to move or get married or do certain personality or life changes, but your actual core psychological structure does not change. So now knowing this is the basic structure, now when you layer yours on it, you'll start to begin to understand why you're psychologically and motivated the way that you are.